What's up, bro? What better way to start off a video on smiling than smiling, right? And oh, this feels so good. I don't even know why. Alright. Today's been a great day. Saturday, I'm out here chilling. Face is glowing. The grades just came in. I got all straight A's this semester. I'm going to work tomorrow, but tomorrow will be I wouldn't be my last day of work, but it's gonna be the last day before I go on my 2 month hiatus to focus more on school. So I'll be making a lot more videos then when I'm locked in grinding. Sorry. Um, so this video is going to be on the positive psychological and physiological effects of smiling. I'm going to be focusing on the social good aspects and also on the aspects of smiling, which is good for like interpersonal or personal um, conduct. Yeah, right. Like just how you see yourself, how smiling is good for self concept, how smiling is good when it comes to your mood and things of that nature. And I'm also going to discuss like how like is different for different cultures. This is kind of like a filler video, bro. So basically, I already uploaded a video on why stress might not be bad, which is like edited, and I actually had like cited articles on there, but it's taking time to load and process. So I'm just trying to get like a little small filler video on there until it fully processes and goes through. And I'm gonna try my very best to smile throughout this video, for my sake and also for your sake. Because smiling is a gift and it doesn't have to be a poison. If you don't let it be a poison, it's gonna be, I promise you, it's gonna be a gift. When we were kids, I remember when I used to go for like a restaurant or I used to go somewhere. Actually, I remember this one time. I'm from Chennai, India, actually. And one time we went to the Vandalur Zoo, which I think they actually made it free now, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if that's the zoo they made free. They made like three zoos free today. But I went to the Vandalur Zoo when I was a kid, and I remember once that I think I got into a fight or something. I started crying because my mom wouldn't buy me ice cream there because they have a really good ice cream parlor in like the middle of the safari trip. They have like an amazing like ice cream parlor. They have everything there. I remember crying to my mom. I was like maybe like 9, 10 years old. And I remember when this happened, after this happened, I had to like pretend to smile on camera, because I was crying. Like my mom wanted to take a picture of us at the zoo. So I was like crying, but then like I had to like stop crying. I had to like fake not crying in order to like put up like a smiley face in order to like speak to my mom. So it's those little things like that since I was a kid, which kind of entrenched this idea onto me that like maybe like smiling is negative behavioral reinforcement, right? Or not negative, but it's like maybe smiling is just a bad behavioral reinforcement. To me, I always felt like smiling growing up was like a bad thing because it almost seemed like I always had to fake it to pretend like I'm positive. Anytime I had to pretend like I'm positive, I would have to smile. And then when I was happy, I would normally smile to myself, and it wouldn't be for so long as I would smile when I had to put it up as a face when I was smiling to other people. So growing up, I never really smiled that much, partly because of my depressive rut that I was in here and there. It kind of oscillated, and I was, you know, in a massive depressive rut for like a year now till now. And I remember when I used to go to work, like I have a very readable face, guys. Like when people see me, they know when I'm sad, they know when I'm angry, when they know when I am this or that, right? And I remember I went to work this past couple of days when I've been going to work. My coworkers have noticed that I've been smiling a lot more, that I've been smiling more to myself as well. And I've realized that this couple of weeks have been a little bit lighter on me mentally. I've been able to get a little bit better, like not better sleep, but not like consistent sleep, but still better quality sleep. I can have more better dreams, healthier dreams, and things like that. And I've been eating more. I've been going on runs more, exercising. I've been more productive, so to say. So like I think that somehow, somewhere, like these little small successes that I've wrapped up is paying off in terms of making me smile more to myself. So I have been a little bit more positive, even if it's pseudo positivity. I have been a little bit more positive Um, and I've realized it's like when I used to hear people talk about how maybe like faking a smile could actually help induce positive moods, I used to always think that it was wrong. I thought that it was just like a placebo kind of study or like a false study, like a pseudo study. But I've realized that it might actually be the case. I mean, there's been numerous studies on how smiling affects our moods. There was a study back in 2022 which actually showed that smiling actually improves your mood. And there's also studies on the Duchenne smile, which is more a kind of smile, and it's been inferred to be a very attractive kind of smile to other people. Like when people see you do the Duchenne smile, they think that you're an attractive person, right? And I've also discussed on. I think it's also important for us to touch up on cultural context first, because smiling is a very attractive thing to other people. Like when you smile, I know in our society now it's like we're all forced to like be all alpha and shit. You have to like put up like this fake stoic face. We're supposed to not smile and whatnot. But like smiling is a very attractive trait for a lot of men and women. But it's very like oftentimes women are more revered for their smiles than men are. But smiling is still an attractive trait on men. And what's crazy is like when men smile, they become more approachable to women. Sometimes they might also come off as creepy. Like obviously, if you're in a metro, like a subway or whatever, and or like a metro train, and then like you just smile at a random person, like this, and you're like overtly trying to be creepy. That's weird. But if you induce your natural smile, you tend to be a more approachable person. It signals immediacy, and sometimes when you smile, I mean, well, not sometimes. It's important to keep in mind that eye contact is the regulator of kind of communication in the United States. So when you smile, sometimes, oftentimes, you would have to kind of attribute your eye contact towards the person that you're smiling at as well. So you actually signal like positive. Um, you actually give out positive signals for communication. You actually give out positive signals for approachability and things of that nature. So smiling is much more important than you think it is, right? And also because when you smile, you can actually induce positive emotions onto yourself. It increases your serotonin, relieves stress. You know, it's just an overall like psychological positive for you to smile. Now, is it okay to fake smile? No, not always. At least sometimes fake smiling does work. But if you're gonna obviously fake smile when you're also experiencing negative emotions, then you're not giving yourself enough time and space to acknowledge those negative thoughts, and it might actually backfire for you. But all I'm saying is that I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, bro, this world, there's a lot of bad things. There's a lot of bad things going on, and there's a million reasons for you to be unhappy right now, especially right now, given the economy, given the wars, given like everything that's going on. There's a million reasons for you to be unhappy, but you have to find that one reason to make yourself smile, man. That one reason is going to be so much valuable for you, and you're going to teach yourself to be happy even in the worst and worst of situations if you go about your day every single day at least trying to put up a couple of smiles, and you are able to be mindful of the smiles that you put up. It's going to be a very positive thing for you. And another positive thing I would like to speak of is how powerful smiling is. So I was looking at Dr. Helen Mayberg's deep brain stimulation experiment. I don't know if you guys can actually go and look it up. Actually, CNN did an episode on this. Sanjay Gupta, he actually did an episode on this. So this person, her name is Eddie Guyton. You guys can look it up, or look her up for yourself. She was a very successful patient in one of the beginning testings that they did for deep brain stimulation, right? So deep brain stimulation is when they place an electrode into your brain, and it's going to be with a high electrical stimulation, and that stimulation is supposed to um, help reduce like the disparities in your brain in terms of neural connectivity and whatnot. It's supposed to like I'm not exactly all like completely sure as for the mechanism of deep brain stimulation. Actually, let me look it up. Actually, that might actually be something I might have to talk about now, so might as well just look it up in the chat. See, I'm not completely knowledgeable myself, but what it does is it modulates. So like I said, it modulates neural circuits. I'm just trying to see what it actually does in the sense of like, okay, so what it does is so for her it targeted the Brodmann area 25. or the subcolossal cingulate cortex, right? So for in this particular cortex is overactive in patients with depression. I actually know this from the back of my mind, that specific part, but I'm not too sure as to how deep brain stimulation actually helps to cure this, or well, not cure, but okay, so it modulates the abnormal neural circuits to bring it to normal. Okay, perfect. So anyways, going back to the story, so Eddie Guyton was this woman who was around 30 to not 30, she was maybe in her late 40s or early 50s or whatnot, and she was a very depressed person growing up. If you've seen any of her photo frames in the video, they'll show you she was very dull, never cracked open a smile. She herself talks about like how she always felt bad that she was never able to smile, and she was never able to like authentically express happiness because happiness just was not available for her. You know, she suffered from chronic depression, and that's very painful to suffer from chronic depression. It's like waking up every single day for no reason at all. And it's like the only purpose she really had at one point was to like get better for her nieces and for her family members. And so even when she was like in college, she attempted suicide. She was admitted to psychiatric wards. You know, it's a very powerful story from her end because they showcase the entire procedure, the entire deep brain stimulation procedure from her like going in, getting the scans, you know, going into the stimulation. They placed the electrodes in her brain. They targeted Brodmann area 25. Guess what happened? You know the first thing that happened when they placed it in and the stimulation worked? The first thing that happened when she was finally able to experience happiness, she smiled, bro. She fucking smiled. You know how crazy that is? To go through that many years of pain, and the first indicator of relief from that pain is smiling. To go through that many years of isolation, pain, sadness, the first indicator that you're becoming like, or at least the treatment is working, is that you're smiling. And they asked her why she's smiling, and she said that she was thinking about her niece. Let that sink in for 1 second. That's how powerful smiling is. Don't ever let anybody tell you that smiling isn't powerful. Just that one story. This woman who suffered her entire life, first thing she does is smile. Immediate emotional shift. Smiling is an art. It's a beauty. I don't care how ugly you think you are. I don't care how ugly you objectively are. If you possess the ability to smile, even a little bit, you know, because cultural context wise, going back to it, like Western countries, they normally have like longer smiles. So that's another tip for people, for Indian guys or whoever's watching this. If you want to be more approachable in a Western country, smile with an elongated dimension. You know, smile more, show your little dimples or whatever, smile a lot. If you're from an Eastern Asian country, normally speaking, Eastern Asians or they live in collectivist cultures and they tend to smile very little. So it would be like this or something like that. They wouldn't show much of the smile, you know? So there's cultural differences as to how smiles are perceived, and it is important for you to understand how different smiles, different dimensions of smiling works in different cultures as well. I truly hope that after watching this video, you sincerely take the time to laugh, to smile, to cherish at least once a day. I'm not asking you to smile all the time. That's weird. But smile, bro. Smile. Just smile, bro. Just smile. Thank you so much for watching.